You're probably wondering why I've brought us subterranean into the basement. I just thought that this would be a much more secure space for the time being. And given your condition, there really isn't any room for error here. Earlier this evening, as I'm sure you're aware, we had some visitors, didn't we? Some unwanted guests. That's the thing with being different, not like everyone else. You will always have people who are going to be rooting against you, and in my case, wanting to end my existence altogether. Now, I understand that I am what I am, right? A vampire. But I don't know, we're all out here trying to survive, aren't we? But nonetheless, we had some visitors who tried to, well, you know. And you, my familiar, my very fragile human familiar, got mixed up in all that. And for that, I am very sorry. But, as I have explained to you, being a familiar is a dangerous job. There are some, in fact, who dislike, shall we say, familiars more than the vampires themselves, because to them, right, you're aiding a monster. You're choosing to do that. And, well, that's just how it is. That's how the world works. But, nonetheless, you are my familiar. And it is partially my responsibility to protect you, just as it is your responsibility as much as you are able to protect me. And I will say that I did have a moment of weakness this evening. I, for but a moment, forgot that the entire world is out to get me and does not like me, and that at any moment someone could arrive trying to bring me down. A weak moment, and you were there. You were there, you alerted me, and, well, let's just say the threat has been eliminated. But you got hurt in the process. Pretty badly hurt. But don't fear. I will take care of you. You're my familiar. You're my responsibility. And everything is gonna be okay. Especially down here. It's a little bit more secure, like I said, down here in the basement. I've just got some old relics, things from my past lives, so to speak, collecting dust. Here, there was a period of time where I disliked the fact that I couldn't see myself in the mirror so much. I had all mirrors brought down here and I covered them up. Now I don't really care about that, but just some old things. Nothing down here is gonna hurt you. So, first things first, you have some very deep wounds. those vampire hunters were well armed, let's say, and before I clean you up and tend to those, I'm gonna give you a special elixir, let's say. Within this elixir does contain a small amount of my own blood, but this will not turn you into a vampire. All it will simply do is help you to heal faster. It sort of transfers a little bit of my own powers to you so that you may heal, right? Because vampires, if we get a scratch, it heals almost instantly. I'm afraid to say that the healing time will not be so quick or so swift for you, as you are still a very mortal human, but it will speed things up considerably. And you are my familiar after all, and I need you in tip-top shape to be able to continue doing my bidding. Exactly. So, I will give this to you, and I want you to drink all of it. Okay? I promise it will help. That's right. How do you feel? I know it works very fast, but now that that's working its magic, so to speak, next you have a lot of, well, a window was shattered when you were fighting that one, yes, and unfortunately there's a lot of little shards of glass embedded in your face. So I need to get those out. Need to get those out and treat it. Because the elixir, yes, it'll help you heal, but still things need to be tended to properly. So I just found some tweezers here, and I'm just gonna pick those out, okay? This won't hurt too much, hopefully. So just try to relax, okay? I'm doing the best that I can. And yes, in my many adventures in this long life I've lived, I have done some sort of healing things here and there, medical whatnots, but I am no expert in anything, so just relax. Everything's gonna be fine. That's a really big piece. And I do want to say you were very brave. A lot braver than I was expecting from you. It makes me feel more confident in my decision to pick you as my familiar, so points to you. There are so many little pieces, and they all have to come out. I don't want your skin healing around the glass. That would be good. that's... Oh, missed one right up here. Right in front of my eyes. Another little one up here. Okay. I think that's all the glass. Let's hope so. Next, you also have quite a bit of dirt and all sorts of dust from all the commotion. I'm just gonna wipe all that up before I treat all those spots, and then you also have some wounds on your arms as well, and I'll take care of all that, so just relax. Everything's gonna be fine. The life of a familiar is an interesting one. I hate to say it, sometimes it's a short one. But hopefully not in your case, because I will say you are probably the best familiar I've ever had, actually. So I very much would like to keep you around as long as I can. As long as I'm able, anyway. And I'll tell you what, those vampire hunters will not be the last. They certainly weren't the first to try and stop Becca the Vampire. No one has ever even come close to getting me. And I know I said earlier I did have a little bit of a moment of weakness. Wasn't being careful enough, but I still had everything under control. I'm used to it at this point. Been around long enough. And it's not just vampire hunters out there I need to be concerned with. It's other vampires. Even though, according to our sort of code of ethics, as vampires are not technically supposed to hurt one another, let alone end either. But it does happen. Of course it happens. Humans are jealous, but so are vampires too, and well, lots of feuds and other things. The drama within the vampire community, my goodness. No one is fully a good person. You will come to find, well, especially vampires, very devious, very, very devious. Troublemakers, we all are in our own way, I guess, and some people clash more than others. Other familiars fighting other familiars. There's werewolves, which are awful creatures. Still don't fully understand why we're such enemies, but all I know is I have this deep, burning hatred of them that I just simply cannot shake. So, witches, well, depends on the witch. Some are okay, some aren't. Some are very tricksy and have terrible alternative motives. Just depends. There's some witches that I've met that are fine. But yes, vampire hunters are one of the more prevalent threats, I'd say. And there's other creatures and sorts, beings, that can be quite problematic, but I don't really fear anything. I've been around a long time. I've seen so much. And I know how to handle myself. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. A lot of people, a lot of things have tried to put an end to me, but nope. Guess who's still standing, huh? your face is clean enough. Next, for all those little spots where I pulled the glass from, I have a special ointment that I'm going to put on that'll just further help in the healing. And it'll kind of maybe reduce some of the pain and sensitivity in those areas as well. Just gonna apply it with a Q-tip. This is a stupid question to ask you, but after all you've seen so far working for me and the events of this evening, do you still want to be my familiar? Good. That was the correct answer. So you need to know that this tonight was nothing. There'll be so many worse things that might happen. It's dangerous. For many reasons. You need to be prepared for anything. And be open to the idea that, well, we won't go there tonight. Tonight was enough. But, again, I am very impressed with your bravery and your efforts to protect me, even though was doing fine handling myself, but still, I commend you for that. Not everyone would try and save a vampire. Most would try to save themselves first, but not you. No, you jumped right in to the fight, and no, you got hurt, you did your best, and I want to thank you for that. And I don't say thank you very often, so that's a big deal. I hope you know. That's a very big deal. Apply a little bit more over here. There's gonna be a big mess to clean up. No, I don't expect you to do all that. It's pretty bad, pretty severe. There's sort of a trusted group who comes in and cleans up messes sometimes for us vampires. Special individuals who, well, they don't judge who we are and what we do, and so I'll just call them, have them tidy things up. And you, my friend, will then have a chance to rest and recover. And then you can resume your regular chores and other things, so. But rest right now is very important. I know there might be some vampires who would expect their familiar to jump right back into things, but I am not like other vampires. I'm not so cruel, especially to my familiars, because the life of a vampire is very lonely. And as much as I can, and I understand that I am still above you, I like to think of us as friends in a way. And I do actually care about your well-being, so. I know there's some vampires who just view their familiars as sort of servants, and they don't care at all about what happens to them. They'll just replace them. I think that's silly, because if you treat a familiar right, then they'll be around a long time, and, well, then there's less retraining that needs to be done, so to speak. And I like having people around that I can trust and that I know. So if I have to get a new familiar every other week, well then, that's a lot of new people. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think that's all the spots. Next, like I said, you have a few injuries on your arms. So I will treat each one. And then I will let you get some rest, because that cocktail I gave you earlier, little drinky drink, it is very powerful stuff, and it is more than likely gonna probably make you very sleepy, which is a good thing. You need to rest. First, let me see your arm. I think there's some glass in it as well. This side first. Yeah. Okay. Not as much. But still. Get all those little pieces out. Okay. Again, just gonna wipe your arm. Okay. Apply a little bit of that ointment. Use my hand this time. Just gotta rub that spot. And for your arm as well, I'm gonna wrap this bandage around it as well. Just to help, because there was one little gash that I just don't want it to bleed out. So there we go. And then this side has a little bit of glass as well. Pick that out. Oh, that's a big one. Okay. And let me wipe this arm. And I'll apply a bit more of that ointment. And there's a gash on this side too. I just want to, with this bandage, wrap this around a couple times here. Lid back on. Alright, let me get a good look at you. Let me see those arms. And your face. I think I got all the glass. It looks like it. But let me ask you. Mentally, Are you okay? I didn't ask that yet. And like I said before, I do actually care about your well-being and how you are, so. Are you okay? Yes, I know it was very sudden. They kind of burst in, didn't they? But you handled yourself very well. And, well, you should feel proud of yourself. But it won't be the last time. So, now you know a little what to expect. So, but I'm glad the outcome wasn't so sad. You're still here, I'm still here. We're fine. We're going to be okay. But now, my familiar, I order you to get some rest. Recover. Take as much time as you need. Okay? I really do care. I know I'm a vampire and, well, guess what? I don't have a soul, but I'm not so unfeeling. But yes, rest, recover. I will have someone else take care of the mess upstairs. Don't you worry about that. And life will continue. Life always moves on, regardless of what happens, good or bad. Well, get some rest, and I will see you later.